do not waste your gems immediately. First, we need to talk about the new supports, and then you can decide whether it is worth buying them or not. And by the way, if you want access to these new cards, you have to buy this pack. For example, we have a new bundle here. It doesn't list those cards, okay? These are just alternative versions of the hero cards. So don't get confused about it. There's also a super polymerization pack, which only gives you an alternative version. So I wouldn't suggest buying this pack at all because number one, we don't use Evil Hero engine that much. And number two, it's just a single copy of alternative version, which is not worth it if you ask me. So just make sure to focus on this pack. And other than hero cards, there are also a bunch of cool cards that you can use, such as Forbidden Crown, Dominus Spark, and Solomon Accusation. But for this video, I'm just going to talk about these new hero cards. So let me start with the Hero Flash. This card is the combination of the previous cards that we had in the past. For example, H can pierce, E can search a card, R can pop spells or traps, and O can special summon a normal monster from the graveyard. And when you activate Hero Flash, you could be able to use a direct attack with a normal monster. So all of these effects combined in a single card. Now, I have a couple of issues with this card. Honestly, this card is not a game changer at all. It is not that great as I expected. I mean, the artwork is cool, but the effects are minor. For example, it gives us piercing damage and helps us to direct attack. These two effects are not necessary. And also those two effects will be useless when you are going first. What about other two effects? The second effect can pop cards on the field, but actually it's not that great either. When you go first, you won't be able to use it. We have a bunch of cards like Thunder Giant, DPE, Shining Neos Wingman. Like these cards can pop cards on the field, so this destruction effect isn't adding anything to the deck at all. Now I was thinking, like, what if we get some benefit from the third effect, like special summoning a hero monster from the graveyard? These cards are not elemental hero monsters, so you cannot special summon Darklow. You cannot special summon DPE. Contrast Chaos is considered as an elemental hero monster, but unfortunately, it must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Shining Neos Wingman has the same restriction, so what are we going to special summon from the graveyard? The only card that I can think of is a card like Stratos, which we can get benefit from it whenever it is summoned to the field, make a search. So that's why I don't think that this card is great at all for your deck. And by the way, I couldn't find any ways to search this card from my deck. I honestly think that this card could be more valuable if we could have just searched it from our deck whenever we need it. So anyways, before we talk about this new card, this was Jaden's first winged Kuriboh that he had in his deck, and he was activating Transcendent Wings, and then we could be able to summon a level 10 version, which had an effect by the combination of Mirror Force and Magical Cylinder. Later on, game developers has started to create more winged Kuriboh support, such as this one. I think this one is a better version of the previous Kuribohs, because number one, this card is always treated as an elemental hero card and also a favorite card, so that means it is super easy to search it. And number two, his effects were decent. It can special summon itself, it can burn your opponent, etc. Even today, you can use it at least one copy in your deck, but we don't use it because there are just better cards to use it over this card. But when I look at this card, the first problem that I noticed is this card is not searchable, guys. So that means you need the hard draw of this card, which is really unfortunate. The name starts with Winged Kuriboh, Sabatil, level 10. Some of the effect is taken by this card. The first effect is same, except there are some adjustments. Number one, you shuffle this card back to your deck, and number two, it locks you to the hero monsters only. Do you see where I am about to go with this? It locks us to the hero monsters. Like seriously, why? Haven't these developers already learned that we need to access our cards, but not only hero cards? We should be able to summon non-hero cards as well, because right now other meta decks do that. They combine different archetypes and they are super consistent. Thanks to the release of Miracle Ejector, we also had this now. We could be able to summon number 62 Garius, we could be able to access Word Anaconda, which is really useful under Draw Lockbird, and now you create this card and you give us a hero restriction line again, just like Visionary of Ferris. I thought that we were going forward, not backward again, because Miracle Ejector has really fixed the deck a lot. Not only it made the deck one card combo starter, and also it doesn't restrict us to the hero cards only. And now you create this card and we are just going backwards. I mean, sure, the effect is okay, but you could have made the restriction like this. Just force us to search a card that mentions a hero, for example. This card says Destiny Hero, right? So you could have adjusted the text so that other decks wouldn't be able to use it still, but at least we could have summoned other non-engine hero cards like Word Anaconda. So is it completely useless? Of course not, but I believe that they just missed a big opportunity to take the next step for the hero hero deck? Well, super polymerization is searchable, okay, which is nice, but it is still not consistent because we don't have any way to search this card. And yes, it can search for Fusion Destiny, which is your literal one card combo, but again, we will even lock ourselves to the more hero cards, which is going to be dark hero monsters. You won't have other hero cards like Sunrise, or you won't have favorite contact. That means you won't be able to fusion summon Shining Yugioh Wingman, etc. If you want, you can totally include this card. I think you can include 3 copies of this card if you are planning to drop maybe Ferris or a hero lives. I've tried it, but I wasn't satisfied with the results because number one, a hero lives also pays half of your life points. But the thing is, if this card gets negated, you can activate a second copy. But this card doesn't have such thing because it says you can only use these effects once per turn. So this is a hard once per turn card. Or Visionary of Ferris, for example. You might remove Visionary of Ferris and just have Ejector and Rebo, but the problem is Ferris is searchable, but this card is not searchable. So I still don't see the value of this card at all in the deck. Now, maybe in the future, if we get that Clay Guardian, we can search for Instant Fusion, activate it, and summon him. It would help us to make a better combo because this card would be a better combo starter. But for the moment, I don't see the value of this card at all. And because it shuffles itself back to the deck, like I don't think that we are supposed to run 3 copies. Like when that support releases, I think we can run 1 copy of this card, 1 copy of Instant Fusion, and probably 1 copy of Super Polymerization. And finally, we have 2 new fusion supports. One of them is favorite hero Flaming Man. The other one is favorite hero Shining Flaming Man. So this card requires 2 monsters with the same type but different attributes. Hold on, it doesn't say hero. Where's the hero tag? Why can other decks use this card for fusion summoning? Like any deck who has Super Polymerization, maybe Sky Striker, right? Or maybe Radiant Typhoon, or maybe Branded, can add this card to their extra deck and use it for their benefit. And when you look at the summoning condition, it says 2 monsters with the same type but different attributes. We were always trying to avoid cards like, Mud Dragon or Garura, if you remember. Our board will never be safe against Super Polymerization. That's my issue. I mean, this card is not even that super great hero fusion, by the way. It says when we declare an attack, it gains 1000 attack points, and then we can special summon a monster from our hand in defense position. Like, I have so many issues here, but number one, we get attack points because I guess this Fusion Master has always played with Skyscraper, so I think that's why it has this effect, gaining 1000 attack. But my issue is the second part. Special summoning a level 4 or lower monster in defense position. Like, why is it in defense position? Obviously, you are gonna use this card during the battle phase, right? So why do you special summon a monster in defense position? That literally doesn't make any sense. And second of all, why it can be any level 4 or lower monster from your hand? Like, again, why there is no a hero tag here? I can special summon Ray or Fallen of Albaz, whatever level 4 that you have from different archetypes. That's my issue with this card. And when I continue, it says when we destroy a monster by battle, we can fusion summon a monster from the extra deck using monsters from our hand or field. Okay, so this effect is basically polymerization, right? So that's why maybe it wants you to summon a monster on the field if you wanna fusion summon Shining Flare Wingman, right? Because it says 1 fusion monster, which is this card, and 1 face-up monster on the field. But again, the problem is this card can also be summoned with Super Polymerization if our opponent has it. Where does it say that it requires a Hero Fusion Master? Like, why cannot you guys do the card like this one? When you read it, it says 1 Elemental Hero Muse or 1 Fusion Master that mentions it, plus 1 Effect Monster on the field. Do you see how balanced this card's summoning condition is? This new support should have been like this. And worst of all, this card also has a Pot of Greed effect, which lets you to draw 2 cards. And it says you can shuffle 5 monsters. Like, it doesn't matter what deck you're playing, you just have to shuffle 5 monsters from your graveyard. Now, obviously, in a branded deck, it wouldn't make much any sense because branded cards generally want themselves to, stay in the graveyard. But think about the other decks that can get benefit from it. And drawing 2 cards is going to give them a huge advantage. For the hero deck, we didn't really needed effects like these. I still don't have this card. I'm trying to buy it from the packs. I tried to summon this card once or twice, and believe me, it wasn't even worth summoning it for myself. Because in that situation, I could have summoned either this version or Shining Yugioh Wingman, and I went for Shining Yugioh Wingman because number one, I could be able to destroy cards on the field, which was more beneficial for my case. Number 2, it had more attack points, and it really helped me to bring down my opponent's tower monster, because his attack points wasn't enough. I couldn't be able to shuffle 5 monsters from my graveyard, so that's why I summoned Shining Yugioh Wingman instead. So I'm still testing these cards. I don't want to be too pessimistic about it. Like, they have obvious the potential for our deck, but unfortunately, the way that I see it, other archetypes today in the current meta who use a Super Polymerization can abuse these cards much better than we do. I don't understand why they couldn't be able to put hero tags into these cards effects. Like this card, for example, Fifth Top. It requires elemental hero monsters. Now you might be asking yourself, wait a second, haven't you told us that hero requires other archetypes to summon and, improve his endboard? Yes, but that's only because other archetypes can do that too. Like normally I'm a guy who supports and wants to see only a single archetype when I duel against my opponents, but unfortunately the meta decks doesn't have any restrictions and they can just mix different decks, and then you won't be able to even decide what to negate because you don't know fully what they're playing. And that also make their deck even more consistent because those engines can work together. So that's why I want the same power for hero deck, but for the power balance. And let me guys know what you think about these new supports. Are they worth buying it? Are they not? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.